どこマジでバグったかな。出ねえし。マジどうしていいかわからん。なんでもいいよ。わらび餅食べる。どこくっそ。出ねえし。ここ降りてきたところからだよね。マジバグってんじゃねえこれ。登れた。だって降りるってなってたから降りてきたんだけど。なくね。いやそれさっき言ったから。あった。こ
My
っち
mom
か
moved
よ。
to India
わ
a
かん
week
ねえ
after
だろ。
graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
わあこれ一番上。もっとあるじゃん。看板は
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
見ると
And to see kids in the house again.
ルイス。すごいボロボロじゃん。
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
怖っ。高い。
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
またなんか起こるぜ。
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton. Guys. 何もない。入るとこあったね。何この足跡。なんだあれ。 げえすげえ。すげえと反応力なんだけど。来た。ミルトン。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
すごいすごいすごいすごい。
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
これだけ？消えたってどういうこと？
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
ミルトンが消えたって書いてあったけど、4歳の時。
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
どっち行くの？こっちか。これなんだ？ルイス。
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
ルイスってもうやった？
なんかやった気がするけど、名前的には出てきたような気がする。
まだルイスって名前出てるけど、あそこ書いてないもん。
あと2人？
あと2人。
あと3人。
なんで？
まだいる。
オーディン？オーディンは書いてあるじゃないですか。あれ？今見たの誰だ？ミルトンか。開ける。ここは誰の部屋？Lewis's
room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Balance board.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
彼の意識はよくなんかゲームが始まったぞ。怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い。手が終わる気がするこれ。
He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
怖い、これは怖い。なんかやっちゃいそうだよこれ。
Feel his way about.
怖い。こんなぼーっとしてると、これ左手で俺動かしてるんだよね。右手でこの魚をやってるっていう。怖い怖い怖い。おお。これは怖いぞ。慎重に行く。どこ行くんだよ。これ魚あるし。おい。
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then.
なんか進化したし。
Daydreaming at the cannery.
缶詰工場かよ。
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
あれ、今度こっちに字が出てきたで。
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
怖いよ。もうどうなった今。
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
怖い。
On the edge of a city he named
何これ。
Lewis Topia.
うー、怖い。
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something.
魚が増えてくる。
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
やばい、集中できない。なんじゃこれは。集
He
中で
no
きない。
longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination.
自分の空
So
想で
he
しか
could
ない。
do whatever he wished.
うお、すごいすごい。
He held an election for mayor,
うわ
and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
ー、何これ。やばい。だんだんと。
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
やばいやばい、集中できないこれは。
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
工場から帰
Even
宅
as
する
his
のを
mother
忘れました。
pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
何これ、止められてもずっとやってるってこと？ずっとやってるってこ
In
と？
Lewisburg,
魚も来
he
ない。
heard rumors of a handsome queen.
どういうことどういうこと？
The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp.
怖い怖い怖い。どういう結末なのかわからん。
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
やばい、見えなくなってる。うわー、これは腕落とすじゃないの。もう
He knew the
見え
world
なくな
was
ってる
all
もん、
in
機
his
械すら。
imagination.
魚もいっぱい来ちゃったし。うわ怖いよ。これもう。
But he was so proud of having created it.
うわ怖っ。
In his own eyes,
わからん、もうだから妄想と入り乱れてる。怖いよ。
for someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
作業中に妄想にふけってる。だけどこういう時は一番危ないよね。
That the real Lewis was not the one chopping sand, but the
黄
one
金の
climbing
宮
the
殿に
steps of
通
the
じる
golden
階段を
palace.
登る人物。どっちが現実でどっちがあれか分かんなくなっちゃったんだよ。怖い。
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
え、急に現実に戻ったね。さよなら。
ここ絶対臭いな。ここ絶対臭いし、血がやばい。血やばい。
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
This isすごい妄想かなこれ。
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
フィンチ。あ、もうなんかおかしくなっちゃってる。やばくなっちゃってるじゃん。
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
すげえ
His queen waited, holding his crown.
Yeah, ギロチンあるし。
There's only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
やばいじゃんこんなの。
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
死んだの？どうやって死んだの？あん中に頭入れたってこと？
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
あとはエディとダウン。よくわからん。怖。
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
おやすみ。
But I understand why we left.
It is Mom.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sailed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
Tsunami.
They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
どこどこどこ 怖っ
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
おばあちゃんもいなくなった。
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
よくわからんな。難しいね。一部寝ぼけてたから。うん、トロフィー取った。多分この中にヨハンの名前を見ると取れるっていうのがあるらしいからわかんない。カルビンのストーリーをまたプレイするっていうのと酔いどれ水夫に最後まで歌わせる。水夫なんか出てきた？ 音が持ってる。ジエンド。ストーリーをリプレイするオプションが追加されました。最初からプレイするにはエディスを選択してください。だってなんだっけ、カルビンをもう一回やらなきゃいけない。巨大フクロウで2回やるっていうのは2回でゲットする。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
これか。いや、わから
My
ん。
brother said
もう
he'd
一回
die
プレイする
before
だけ
he
でいい
ate
のか
another
な。
mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Iた。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
あれ ?OK! ゲットしたぜ。くるりん。 続きまして、フクロウは誰だったか覚えてる？
一番最初だったから、あれ一番こっち、
これ
それ
猫？
うん、猫が長いって。最初のストーリーとかめっちゃ長い。これすごい。一番最初からかな。
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I ate a lot of things that night. I kept eating and eating. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
こっからか。
And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
いた。Okay.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Okay.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Eh?
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
これで最後まで歌わせるってこと？どこ？この上？これ？ オーケー。やべえ、これ全部見んとこなきゃいけないのかもしれない。水木穴がいっぱいあるらしい。クリアしなくてもいいかな。
Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
あれ、巨大袋取ったよね、俺。取ったことになってない、もしかして。同期すればいいか。OK。見して。来てない。なんで？あれ、俺取らんかったっけ？さっきピロンって出んかったっけ？あれ出んかった？出んかった？マジで？マジ？出んかった？ あれ
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I ate a lot of things that night. I kept eating and eating. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
危ねえ、なんか失敗するかと思った。オッケー。
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
オッケー。
Suddenly, I was a shark.
やべえ。あと両方の小道をたどるっていうのをやるらしい。最初から屋敷に入るとは。だけどあと全部の穴を覗くっていう、これむずいで。
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
こう分かれてたじゃん、道が左右。両方行くっていう。 トロフィ
I
ーが。
lived here until I was
最初左に
11,
行ったよ
but I
ね。
wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know.
左行ったよね、最初。
She thought the mystery would be enough to bring me
ね。
back. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I
Okay,
saw a few
取った。
footprints.
あとね、覗き穴を全部覗くっていうのがあるんだよね、トロフィー。それ取ったら全部なんだけど。どれを落としてるんだろう
The
ね。まあいいや。
truth is,
明日にし
even
よう、それ
after
は。
I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
一回終わるわ。終わります。